Alright, here's the video review for War for Cybertron Kingdom RODIMUS Prime. And he's honestly pretty cool. When I first saw pictures and I saw how far this stuck out, I wasn't 100% sure on it. And I still have, like, it's not 100% perfect. It's a nice RODIMUS. It's one of the better RODIMUS Primes we've gotten recently. But it's not 100% fully baked, although it's close. So here he is in his trailer. Mine does seem to close pretty decently. It's not just, it doesn't just go click and stay there. It does kind of take make sure to put the pressure here where it snaps together and hold that first, and then kind of squeeze it here after you flip this up and hold it there for a second, and then it will stay together. But you can see it still stays together pretty decently. I can bump it around and it's not popping open. And I do have the gun inside tabbed in. But you can open that up. It does have a little opening trailer door here, and you can flip out a little connector ramp. You see there's the gun inside there, but it has the connector port ramp there. You can open that up. You can store, some small cars can fit in there if you don't have the gun in there. However you want to do it. Also, something I've seen a lot of people getting this guy, showing him off, and don't have him clicked all the way into the trailer, and that helps a little bit visually. The yellow fin should come all the way back to this slot, and I've seen somewhere it sits, because it does want to stop about 1/4 of an inch from the end there. You want to make sure that the black feet are pushed right up against the orange, and this is pushed all the way back, because there's a little tab. And when I pull them out, you'll see there's a tab up in this orange piece that fits into a slot on the spoiler, and you want to make sure that goes all the way back. One, it's a little bit more secure, and also helps a little bit with how far forward this sits. But the car itself takes a little bit of wiggling here. Should pop right out. There we go, pops out. And it's kind of hot roddy. Oh, come on. I knocked something loose there. It's just not tabbed in all the way. Come on. Let me just lift this up. Well, right. You gotta move. You gotta move. Then I can lift you up. Then I can rearrange the arm and get everything tabbed in. Come on. There's slots in there for this stuff. There we go. Let me close those back up. So he comes out, and from the top is actually a pretty decentish looking hot rod. From the side, a little chunkier than generally hot rod is. A little awkward from certain angles, but like once you move from, and you have these really long pipes here. Once you move from here to about here, it starts looking like a pretty decent basic hot rod vehicle. A little chunky. Now, and you can see this is the slot in the spoiler I was talking about that should hit this little clip. That's what holds it, latches it in. And it will stay in. If you click it back, it'll stop right about there. And it'll tend to stay securely. But you can see that this is not all the way back, and he sits out a little far. You want to make sure it clicks all the way back when you put him in. But yeah, it's a pretty decent little RODIMUS car. And when we first saw this figure, what I honestly expected was that when it was sticking out so far from down here, I thought either this piece, just the spoiler itself, could slide forward in this groove to kind of come a little bit over the canopy like he does classically, or that this whole assembly could, like, maybe it could slide forward a little bit, and this whole assembly at this hinge kind of came up a little bit to move it a little forward, and then whatever stuck out down here, there would be more open space here for him to slide back a little further. Is how I thought it was going to work. And honestly, had they not put in, there's a little storage slot here that can hold, you can take like the little matrix glow effect and tab it in. It's got a couple little pegs here. But you can store some stuff and some of his little blast effects and stuff in this pod. But if they hadn't put that storage tray in there, they could have left this under here a little hollow and maybe had it work like that. It's a minor complaint. That's how I would have done it. But again, this is the retail thing. You can see now it's starting to pop apart now that I've started really messing with it. But like I said, squeeze it up here and then push this forward. And then kind of hold it up like that. And it'll generally tend to stay together pretty decently. So yeah. Anyway. But all in all, like I said, I do like the fact that RODIMUS himself does have a fully complete vehicle mode versus his old G1 version self, which is just like this canopy and then a couple of legs sticking out of it with a fin up here. He does transform into a fully complete vehicle, even if it's a slightly more awkward version of Hot Rod's car mode. Looks really nice from the top, though. He also comes with his sword and his gun, and those can store the gun can store on either side of his vehicle mode using these two peg holes on either side, and then the sword can store on either shin. I guess that's actually his calf, but you can have that on like that. So if you just want to carry him around in his small vehicle mode, you have all of RODIMUS, you have both his weapons, and they can all store on the vehicle. So it's nice that they engineered that. Vehicle effects wise, you get these black smoky things that are designed to go on to these smokestacks, and I don't know why they made these black versus the blue of all the other blast effects you get with him. But hey, you know what? I'm not Hasbro. But you can put those up there. You can put some little thrusters coming out back here. However you want to do it. These can also work on the cannon inside here. Come on, go snap all the way forward. I guess you are. Oh, that's just okay, whatever. But yeah, that was an odd choice for just these to be this smoky, weird black plastic. Whatever. So yeah, and again, we'll do the trailer real quick. The trailer, like I said, we saw the little piston-y gate. It's got the little hinges, the pistons, mechanical pistons here. That's kind of a neat detail. You can also, but you can open up just like the old school version. Make sure these come out. These are on springs because they can get caught on the orange there. And then you can fold this down. The instructions say to just fold that out like that, and that's fine. But you can bring the gun up. You can rotate it around. You can stand here. There's a couple handles that we'll get to all this. But you can turn around, fire like that. You've got the blast shields that flip out. You can fire backwards. But you can also you flip this forward too, make it a little base. But also in vehicle mode, if you want, you can turn it. Hold on, how was it? Oh, it's like, yeah, okay. It pegs into the center here. But there's lots of little peg holes here. You could have it facing the other way, but it pegs in right here. And you can take it off too. It's got like its own little tank treads. But you can take this, and you can rotate the gun around like this if you want. And in vehicle mode, this little flap here makes a lot more sense if you have you can have the cannon. All right. Something's catching here, and I'm not sure what. Oh, it is that. I have done this. How did I do this? I've actually had this cannon sticking out of here and had this come up. Maybe I did have these down. I don't know. I could have sworn there was a way to close this. I guess not. And have this closed up around it. Well, okay. Did I have a fever dream? Couldn't tell you. Was it maybe this way? No. Okay. Ignore me. I did do that, but then maybe, like I said, maybe I did that without. Maybe I just did it like that. But I could have sworn I had this. Well, it clearly does not. That has to go down further for this to come up past it. And it's not. So, ignore me. You get to see me hallucinate in real time. And then snap it back together. Hold that up. Yep. There we go. Get all that snapped together. And there we go. But that's the trailer. That's all there is to it. Set that off to the side. Now let's focus on RODIMUS himself. So we flip these panels forward. Just untab them from back here, rotate them around, and then you can lift this whole piece up, and you can pop the canopy up here, like that. And you can untab the arms here from the side, bring them out, bring this up, well, actually not that up, like that. We'll bring this whole assembly down like that, and then these little panels fold into like that, They've been doing that a lot. Almost all the hot rods have these little side panels fold into the chest. This one on this side is a little loose. Sometimes, like when I flip it back out, it likes to, you kind of have to push it in. It likes to slide a little bit on that friction peg. But bring that down. Then you need to bring this down as much as you can, because you're going to lift the arms up and rotate the upper body. I'll bring this down, like right here above this black hinge. This should all rotate around. And you got to get this gray hinge out of the way so that can happen. You can go ahead and turn this around. That's going to flip up like that. Bring that up. The arms, bring it down so this tab on the black piece comes out, and then you're going to fold this gray piece up to snap on there, like that. And same over here. Bring this down, fold that up to snap into place. There we go. And out and around like that. This chest piece, turn its head around so it faces forward. You can go ahead and push this orange piece down. It tabs a little in at slightly more of an angle there onto the chest. And you can bring this up. You're going to tab this gray piece into the windshield. And it will snap into place. And then you got to kind of bring the chest down and snap it into place like that. And then this piece, you see, has a little tab inside there that lines up and snaps into the windshield from this side. Yeah, it's just a matter of getting it lined up right. There we go, like that. Just like that. And then the legs, rotate them around. Actually, it helps if you rotate those around before you snap the backpack into place. And then open up this little, split them apart. Open up, pull the wheel out so this black panel can untab from inside the wheel. Bring the knee all the way up. In very Power of the Primes transformation there. This wheel pushes in like that, and then bring this hinge around. You can see there's a curved groove out of there, and that will let the wheel pass through it, and then into this slot. It kind of comes through the inside of the leg here, and then you just fold this back around like that. Tap into the back of the leg, flip his foot forward. There you go. Make sure you just push that until it clicks. And same over here. Bring this up, push the wheel in, fold it down into there, fold this around, snap it into place, fold the foot forward, and we stand them up like this. And then on the arms, extend the arms out just a smidge there. Take his fist, slide it out to the side. Then this whole piece has the clearance to rotate around. Fold this up and out to the side. And as you rotate that around his arm, it will tab onto the inside of his forearm. You don't have to turn him all the way upside down while you do it. Flip that out. Rotate that out. Peg that in. Extend that. There we go. Extend that arm. Fold his hands down. And there is RODIMUS Prime in robot mode. He's got posable fingers. It's the last three, hinge here and a hinge at the mid knuckle on the last three, and then the index finger has two hinges on it as well. The thumb is fixed. He's got posable hands on each side. He's got a ball joint head and then a swivel there below with his neck piece. Dual hinge shoulders. Bicep swivels, dual hinge elbows, so he's got a good range of motion there. Wrist swivel. A little limited by the pipes, but it is there. Waist swivel. Thighs in both directions, thigh swivel. Double hinge knees. Ankle tilt, and then forward and back on the foot. One of the things I forgot to do, this is the wheels. You can see there's a little slot up here, his shoulder wheels. You open this up, rotate it around so it opens up, and then this wheel collapses in, much the way the leg ones did, so that tab can lock onto his arm, so the wheels don't rotate, and it smushes them so they're not sticking quite as awkwardly on his arm. Like there's car mode wheel versus robot mode wheel, and I think that's kind of a cool little feature they didn't have to include, but they engineered it anyway. Almost makes up for the sticking out of the trailer. Not entirely, but a little bit. All right, come on. There we go. Tab in. This arm doesn't tab in as well as this arm, and I'm not entirely sure what it is. I'll have to research it. But there he is. Very nice Rodimus Prime. I like the older look. He's just a cool looking version of Rodimus. His gun unfolds. And it's got 2 peg holes, so we can hold it like that. You want to have him hold it crossways. He does have the range of motion to get both his hands on it. You can even get some pretty decent, can't get fully sniper mode, but decent holding of a 2-handed rifle. And then he's got the sword, which you have to open up his hand to put it in. Snap it in, and wrap his fingers around it. And the sword has a little peg hole, or not peg hole, peg, on a hinge. It can flip out to either side, but you can store his sword on his back, and you can store using one of the same peg holes, actually both of the same peg holes since they line up once you flip this panel around. You can use both of the, I mean, you could just flip that up if you wanted to, but you don't have to. You can fold this back up again, and you can store his gun on his side, and he can carry his weapons in robot mode as well. So, if you want him to have his weapons at some points and you just want to carry Rodimus around, he can store his weapons in both modes, and that's pretty cool. With the cannon, let's go ahead and pop this back open again. Again, you can fold this out into the base mode. Put that around. Put the cannon up. Put the handles up. Open these up. You can use, you said there's all these blast effects. You can give him big cannon blast effects here, although that is weighing them down. It does weigh the cannon down quite a bit, depending on how much you use. We've got a couple different lengths of blast there. That really, two full blast effects on there is a little bit too much, but if you just want to use the small ones, you can absolutely do so, and that shouldn't affect it too badly. But then, like I said, it's got these handles up here, and actually, if you have him holding the handles, it probably would hold it up a little better. But you can have him grip the gun handles here. And he's got the range of motion to do that, which is cool. So there's Rodimus manning the turret cannon in the back of his trailer. And then set that off to the side again, and we'll do some comparisons here. Here he is with his predecessor, the Earthrise / Kingdom Optimus. And again, he's a little bulkier. He's a higher size class, so you kind of expect that, but he looks good with Optimus. They're about roughly the same height. Rodimus is a smidge taller, certainly taller with his fins, but at the top of the head, he's only just a smidge taller than Optimus. Here he is with Studio Series Hot Rod. And again, I think a nice update to himself. Mature and bulky, as befits a Prime. Here he is with his Nemesis. Galatron, a little bigger, but also doesn't come with the whole trailer. And just for fun, because I had him and I had him in easy access, here he is with his Power of the Prime self, which I mean, again, I think still holds up for the gimmick they were trying to do with him. The fact that he's like transforms, the trailer turns into the rest of his body, kind of works. Although obviously, Commander class Rodimus here from Kingdom overall is a much better just singular Rodimus figure because they weren't trying to shoehorn in the Power of the Primes gimmick that they combination gimmick that they did. And just for silly fun, here he is with a New Age, just because I love showing off how teensy they are, New Age Herbie and Vanishing Point. Because they're super teensy! In case you haven't watched that video. He does also come with yet another version of, it's the same one we've been seeing, the Matrix in his chest. It can pop out. Mine's got a little bit of the gold paint, kind of overflowed into the crystal there. But he does also come with the glowy effect, similar to how Rodimus or Hot Rod came with it. So he can hold the Matrix as it glows. He's lighting their darkest hour. But yeah. But it's the same Matrix we've seen several times now throughout the course of the War for Cybertron line. But he's really solid. Again, the trailer is kind of an empty box. It does let you store some stuff. It's got all sorts of access points for storage. If you didn't have this cannon in here, you could fold up a lot of probably blast effects or other smaller characters' weapons. There's a lot of options there with the trailer, but it does have the cannon, which is nice, but it's essentially just a box. But the RODIMUS Prime by himself is actually a pretty nice figure. I love the transformation on it. It's very neat, and overall, like, it does more than I thought it was going to. It would have been nice had they integrated the vehicle mode into the trailer the way I had hoped it would. Like, even if they just had that spoiler slide forward and have the car slide just a little bit further back, or even if they just had that spoiler slide down that piece to kind of cover the canopy, I think it would look a little better. It's just the fact that it sits so far back and is basically hidden once you put the whole car in. I think part of what made that vehicle mode cool was just that little hint of the spoiler kind of coming up over the canopy. Maybe it's just me, but anyway, all in all, I think it's a very solid RODIMUS. I think if you have to choose between, do you want Kingdom RODIMUS Prime or Studio Series Hot Rod, you just want one version of the character on the shelf, go with Studio Series Hot Rod. I think overall that is a much nicer figure for the price point. But this Commander Class RODIMUS is pretty solid, trailer aside. The figure itself is really cool.